It's the final game of the Pittsburgh Holiday Hoops Classic presented by the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps, and it features two titans of their respective classifications in the Fox Chapel Foxes of 6A and the Peters Township Indians in 5A, all coming up next on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Hello and welcome here inside of PPG Paint's arena alongside Johnny Patrician. Jack Ridenauer here with you. And JP, these are two teams that are rocking and rolling, to say the least, both 6-1, but getting it done in different ways. Peters Township, a little bit more offensive driven, while for Fox Chapel, they're looking to grind things out and really get defensive.
Yeah, we got a clash of titans here. Two programs that are built on toughness, physicality, gritty basketball. I'm excited for this. Two programs that are similar in a lot of ways, but they get their victories in different ways. Really clash of titans in different aspects of the game here. I'm excited to get after you with you, Jack.
You look there, the 6-1 record for Peters Township, coming off a pretty big win against Norwin, 62-49. They've really been rolling, to say the least, and coming off a year where they had 17 wins, and they brought back a lot of key players from last season. But then you look over for Fox Chapel, identical records, sitting at 6-1 overall, and like mentioned, getting it done defensively. They did have a little bit of a scare recently, taking down Woodland Hills 66-62. However, it was a near 15-point comeback by the Wolverines as they outscored Fox Chapel 25-17 in the fourth.
Yeah, Fox Chapel, that was a higher scoring game than what they like. They like to slow it down. Opposite of what Peter does, they really push the pace. But Fox Chapel is star-driven by Caden Kaiser and Asher White. Peters gets it done by committee, and they're strong. They have depth in numbers, and I'm excited to see how that pans out today.
Don't move a muscle. We've got tip-off and starters all coming up next from the PPG Paints Arena and on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is a lot of things, and a basketball town is one of them. This game was born here. Built by legends and trailblazers who paved the path and changed the way the game was played. By talent that never quit and crowds that never sat down. And it's our job now to salute the past, support the present, and showcase the future. This is basketball in the City of Champions. This is the Pittsburgh Holiday Hoops Classic.
Back here inside of PPG Paint's arena for the fourth game of the Pittsburgh Holiday Hoops Classic, all presented by the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Marine Corps on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Johnny Patrician, Jack Ridenour here with you as you get a look at the starting lineups presented by Taylor Gang Entertainment. And JP, you look at this Peters team, there is a name that doesn't normally start. Nick McCullough, he's in place of the injured Jaden Greco. So could be something to watch as to how the Indians fare without one of their 5 best players in the lineup this evening.
Yeah, Nick McCullough, I saw him play football earlier this year. Although we're indoors, we're on a basketball court, not a football field, but he's a good athlete. I don't expect him to have any troubles playing tonight.
And then over for Fox Chapel, you mentioned the 1-2 combo of Asher White and Caden Kaiser. And Kaiser has been off to a torrid hot start, averaging almost 19 points per game. He could be a handful for this Indians team.
Yeah, he is. He also averages 6 rebounds a game, and Asher White adds 12.5 points per game with 3 rebounds a game. So that's really the dynamic duo for them, that powerful front court of Fox Chapel.
And White, not to mention, also a major three-point threat. He leads the team in three-pointers made this season, so it could be something for these two to watch as you get a look at the Peters Township starting lineup. And we'll take it to the floor to PA announcer Brandon Rossai for the announcements.
At guard, senior, number 23, Nick McCullough. At guard, a 6-foot junior, number 25, Dylan Donovan. And at forward, a 6'4" senior, number 44, Mickey Paccarello.
Got a look there of the Peters Township starting lineup. And as Fox Chapel about to be announced, both teams come in 6-1 overall. Fox Chapel getting it done defensively. But these two, they also had pretty similar seasons last year. Fox Chapel with 16 wins, Peters Township with 17. But that was then. This is now, both off to great starts. And now we'll again take it down for Fox Chapel. Fox is looking for another big win. They took down Woodland Hills recently by 4. Well, for Peters Township, took down Norwin by 13. But it was a much-needed win for this Peters Township team, JP, because they were in jeopardy of losing a second straight game after falling to Baldwin, a really good Flying Highlanders team in what could make Section 3 a gauntlet this season in 5A.
Yeah, that's a tough schedule, but this is a non-conference game, non-section game, if you will. 2 teams in different classifications, so it doesn't matter towards the end of the season, but this is bragging rights on a big stage here tonight, so they are going to get after it, and I'm looking forward to a competitive game here.
Last time these two teams faced off, you have to go back to 2021 on December 17th, so just about a year to the date, or at least a couple years to the date, and Peters Township lost to Fox Chapel 69-64. The last time that the Indians defeated the Foxes, you have to rewind the clock all the way back to December 4th in 2007 when Peters won at home against Fox Chapel 73-62. JP, as a former athlete yourself playing at a high level, how much is that something that maybe floats around the mind of an athlete, knowing that, hey, these are teams that don't necessarily meet up a bunch, but when they do, it seems that it's always tilted in one team's favor?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that matters a whole lot to these kids. Some of these kids weren't on the team when those games happened, so that's history. They got different teams, different coaches, completely different situations, but these are 2 teams that have high standards for basketball history and that are, great in recent past. So, and these are, both teams have high expectations for this season, which is a completely different time than the past.
Getting set for tip-off here inside of PPG Paint's arena for our final game of the Pittsburgh Holiday Hoops Classic, all presented by the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps. Thanks for sticking around with us all day on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Final few NFL games probably getting close to wrapping up, so segue over to us on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. as we're off and running for the final of 4 games on this wonderful Sunday in December. Fox Chapel controls in the white, Peters Township in the red. Both teams looking for that 7th overall win through their first 8 games of the season. Kaiser with the blow-by and the finish. Reason why he's averaging 19 a game, and he's got the Foxes on the board first.
And he's picking up right where he left off so far this season. One of the hottest scorers in all of Whitfield basketball right now.
Sean Thelk. Ben Miller looking for an angle, and he does draw an early foul. This comes against Ike Moser. That is his first, and the team's first in the opening quarter.
Love seeing the aggressive start for Fox Chapel, attacking on the offensive end, going straight to the cup by Kaiser.
Both teams off to really strong starts, but wanting to carry that over. 2 different classifications, so it doesn't have a huge impact in the playoffs. Beautiful move by Nick McCullough, but just can't finish. Kaiser blazes down, gives it off to his right-hand man in Asher White.
And let's not forget about John Rehack for Fox Chapel. Leads their team in assists. He's really the machine that keeps this offense going, spreads the ball around throughout all their players.
Big-time block there by McCullough, kept alive by the Foxes. Moser in trouble, gives it off. White a long 3. Into the hands of Sean Thelk. Here's Dylan Donovan, leading scorer for Peters Township, a player that is capable of getting upwards of 30 in an outing.
That's high expectations right there. You mentioned numbers in the 30s. That's rare in Whitfield basketball.
Donovan slices through, working around. Thelk thought about it. Back out for Donovan, sets his feet. Nearly airballs, just about at least, and it's back down for Fox Chapel. A little bit of a slower start here offensively for both teams, still getting their footing.
We always talk about the depth perception in this arena here is going to be different from any other court they've played in so far this season.
Anderson Dockey with a burst of speed. Fox Chapel resets, trying to move to 7-1 overall, pick up their 4th consecutive win. The only loss that they've had is to a very improved Hempfield area team. And that was a close one, a 3-point decision. Moser, money! Quick 5-0 start for the Foxes.
And that's big for Fox Chapel to get their role players involved early, getting them off to a hot start. A 3 by Moser.
Moser known more so as a pesky defender, but getting it done offensively on the other end. 5.5 to play in the first. McCullough kicks. Donovan, assortment of moves, slips through, loses it. Bodies hit the deck, and it's back down for Fox Chapel.
The ball lands in the hands of the Fox Chapel head coach. Look at that suit he's wearing. Very festive.
Definitely have to stay festive, especially during this time of year. Fox Chapel's head coach, Zach Skrinjar, in his 16th year at the helm. On the other side, Joe Yerman in his 5th year, but he's been around the block, to say the least. Spent the previous 7 years at Baldwin, and then spent 4 years before that as an assistant at Mount Lebanon. Moser in trouble. Gives it off to Jacob McMillan. One more for White. Beautiful move, finds a hole, and the lead extends to 7 now for Fox Chapel.
Nice hesitation by White there on the baseline. Crafty move by the big fella.
Peters still looking for answers. 3 minutes gone and no points to show for the Indians. Trying to avoid a 2nd loss under their belt. Out of bounds, back down for Fox Chapel. Evan McCullough could not stay in play.
Couple turnovers here for the Indians. Not the way they wanted to start this game, especially with the hot shooting of Fox Chapel.
Yeah, the beautiful move there by Asher White. Jake Wetzel checks in for Peters Township. Both teams trying to extend their winning streaks. Fox Chapel looking for a 4th straight win. Peters looking for a 2nd consecutive victory. McMillan feeds Kaiser. Leading scorer, and he draws contact. And that is against Peters Township. That is the team's first. And that comes on Lucas Rost. That is his first, and so that forces Coach Yerman to go to his bench yet again and bring in Ben Miller. And over for Fox Chapel, John Rehack re-enters into the game. Really cool story about Rehack, player that broke his tibia and fibia in a home game last year. He's been able to work diligently in his rehab, and he's back out on the court.
That's
White,
awesome.
All air, an incredible job, and then McMillan gets in on the mix. Taken away by Peters Township, still looking for that first bucket of the game. Nick McCullough whittles out space, burrows deep.
McCullough, nice use of his pivot foot there. Throw it back out. Would have loved to see them get an open three-point look.
Donovan, contested, but it doesn't matter. Much needed trifecta by the leading scorer for the Indians, and finally, Peters on the board.
Much needed for them. Ends that scoring drought, takes that monkey off their back. Now they can exhale and settle into the rhythm of this game.
Very slow start for this Peters offense that averages almost 64 points per game, which is good for third in the section, but a 10-second backcourt violation against Fox Chapel, and that gives the ball over to Peters. Don't move a muscle. Indians and Foxes, all right here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Fox Chapel in front of Peters Township by 4, looking to get their 7th overall win and try to carry some momentum with them into the holidays for our 4th game of the Pittsburgh Holiday Hoops Classic presented by the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps. Johnny Patricia and Jack Ridenauer here with you on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on your Sunday.
No other place the viewers would rather be, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, I don't know of anywhere else I'd want to be. Courtside, inside of PPG Paints, can't beat it. Good idea inside by Wetzel, but just could not redirect it to his teammate in Evan McCullough.
Would have loved to see Peters Township capitalize on that momentum shift there, forcing Fox Chapel into a 10-second violation, allowing their defense to start their offense.
Yeah, a rare mistake there for this Fox Chapel team that really prides itself on the fundamentals. And now we see another mishap, a self-inflicted wound. John Rehack is whistled for being out of bounds. And so it goes back to Peters Township. To your point, JP, another chance here for the Indians to shave down on the deficit.
And it feels like so far the Fox Chapel's dominating this game. But Peters just needs a few shots to fall, and they'll be right back in it.
There's Mickey Vaccarello, Stanford football commit. JP, you know I'm going to ask you about that a little bit later. Don't think I'm going to ignore that.
That's okay. I'm ready.
McCullough penetrates, hangs, can't hit. Tapped around, inhaled by McMillan for a moment, but kept alive by Rost. And then finally, McMillan rips it away, then throws it away. Chaos ensues.
Jeez, oh man.
Who wants the basketball? Held ball, and it stays down with Peters Township.
That was a loose fumble on the play. Nobody could grab a hold of that thing.
Asher White checks back in for Fox Chapel along with Max Maloki getting his first bit of action. You mentioned it in the other game we were doing earlier today. Maybe some jitters, maybe some early game nerves still.
For sure. This is the biggest arena most of these kids will ever play in. Such an honor to be here right before the holidays. Got to imagine all their family and friends are watching on TV or in the stadium.
Wetzel with a nice move inside, and he pulls Peters Township within 2.
Wetzel the clear size advantage down there in the block. Be interested to see if they take advantage of that going forward.
Here's Rehack. Punctures through, and he travels. So all of a sudden, Peters Township here on this possession with a chance to take their first lead of the game.
Fox Chapel 3 turnovers in a row.
Let's go, guys.
Indians looking to tie or take the lead. Trying to avoid a second loss in their last 3 games. Rost. Inside for Vaccarello. Whittles out space, kicks. On the way for Nick McCullough, rattles out. Burst of speed by Kaiser. Shot out of a cannon. Kicks it. White. Pulls. Hits.
Wow.
All net, no iron for Asher White. Fantastic score. But back in a hurry come the Indians.
Nice pull up by White there. Used the one dribble to get to his spot. Exactly where he wanted and took advantage of it.
About 90 seconds remain in this opening quarter. It's been all Fox Chapel. Peters Township, they're trying to continue to get back into this one. Offensive foul whistled against Nick McCullough. That's his first, team second in the opening quarter.
Nice charge taken there. Coaches love to see that. Right on the baseline drive by McCullough.
Donovan back in for Peters Township. And Ike Moser back in for Fox Chapel. Fox is trying to stretch their winning streak to 4 in a row, move to 7-1. It would really be cooking with grease, to say the least, heading into the holidays. Not to mention this Fox Chapel team making the jump back to 6A. But the last time they were in 6A, they did capture WPIAL gold. 3 off line by White. Back come Peters Township.
A little bit of a heat check there for White. Had the hot hand going into that shot.
Miller short. Quick possession for the Indians. Inside of a minute to go in the opening quarter. Dockey dashes through. Moser, 45 to play. Fox Chapel trying to extend this lead a little bit further. Dockey tries to thread it, but stolen.
Peters Township turning up the heat on the defensive side of the court here.
Rost. Back for Donovan. Go-to guy for the Indians. Rocks back and forth. And a blocking foul whistled. This comes against Anderson Dockey, so that is his first and the team's second in the first quarter.
Seemed like the Fox Chapel side didn't like that call, but I agree with it. What about you, Jack?
Another one of those bang-bang plays. Charges are so hard. That's why I always have so much respect for referees, because calling a charge, I would say, is one of the hardest things to do in officiating.
In all of sports, really.
In all of sports, absolutely. 17 on the clock. Peters Township can hold for the final possession and maybe pull within 1 heading to the second quarter. Donovan zigzags, splits, offensive foul. Donovan hit with it, the team's third. And after Fox Chapel trying to draw a charge the time before, second time is true.
I still love the aggressiveness by Donovan there as he heads to the bench. Peters Township fans hate to see their star player going to the bench in foul trouble.
6.1. Joseph McGivney races down. 2, gives it to White, pumps, fires, no! And we go to the second. Fox Chapel in front by 4, but Peters Township on their heels, trying to pick up their 7th win this season. Don't move a muscle. We've got the second quarter next from Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Dear Harlem Globetrotters,
We love you.
I love your dunks.
adios.
The long shot.
4-point shot!
I love your history.
A trailblazer.
All the cool tricks. You make me laugh. Come back soon.
Pittsburgh, we're coming back for our holiday tradition at PPG Paints Arena on December 26th. For tickets, visit HarlemGlobetrotters.com.
Think you've tried everything at Panera? Think again. Introducing more new sandwiches and salads with our new flavor-packed toasted Italiano and the mouth-watering Mediterranean chicken greens with grains. More in every bite, just like the new ciabatta cheesesteak with melty provolone and garlic aioli. And more new options under $10, including our new creamy bacon mac and cheese. Come taste the new era at Panera.
In Pittsburgh, football season is all year round. The Pittsburgh Passion, 3-time national champions, a team of women united by drive, dedication, and heart. It's more than football, it's family, a sisterhood of athletes working together to achieve greatness. Do you have what it takes? The passion, the commitment. This is your chance to be a part of the black and gold. Step out onto the field and join a legacy. The Pittsburgh Passion is waiting for you. Join us for tryouts. For more information, scan the QR code or visit PittsburghPassion.com.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
Just a ham. You're the other white meat.
How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it.
I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss on Pittsburgh, December 30th, PPG Paints Arena. Tickets on sale Monday, September 16th at JeffDunham.com.
1 quarter in the books, 3 to go, and we march into the second. Fox Chapel in front by 4, but Peters Township trying to mount a comeback. Both teams 6-1 overall. One of these two teams will pick up their 7th win this season. Johnny Patrician, Jack Ridenauer here with you for Game 4 of the Pittsburgh Holiday Hoops Classic, all presented by the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps, and you're watching it all right here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Back to action, and Kaiser quickly dishes off for Rehack, but he can't catch it, and it's back down for Peters Township.
You know, after Kaiser had that game-opening bucket right off the tip, has been pretty quiet since then.
Yeah, Kaiser, he has been a tremendous player throughout his time at Fox Chapel. He's dealt with some injuries, but finally to full health, and he's really having a breakout season. Here's Donovan having a breakout season in his own right. Great extra. Working around for Thelk. One more for Donovan. Gets it right back. Offline. Kaiser with the rebound.
Love the unselfish play by Peters to swing the ball to the open man. That's a shot they can live with every time down the floor, is an open shot by Donovan.
Fox Chapel winners of 3 in a row. Could make it 4 in a row after tonight. Trying to build off a big win against Woodland Hills recently. A 4-point victory over the Wolverines. White, team leader in 3-pointers made. Rehack, way off. Moser almost gobbles it up. Loose ball, stays with Fox Chapel. Last time these teams met up, go back to December 17th, 2021. Peters Township fell to Fox Chapel 69-64, so this might have the feeling of a close one here, JP.
And I hope so, but I think Fox Chapel isn't opposed to that. They've been in a couple tough battles so far throughout the year.
Nick McCullough with the basket and the foul, and a chance to pull Peters Township within 1. Foul comes on Moser. That is his second. Team's first in the second quarter. Vaccarello back in for Peters Township.
As I was saying, both these teams so far have been in close games and throughout the young part of the season here, so they're not gonna, clench up and be afraid of the moment.
No dice on the 3-point conversion. But Moser for Fox Chapel, that's a key thing. He has to now sit with 2 fouls, arguably the best defender for Fox Chapel. McMillan looks for a cutter. Finds Kaiser. Glides in for 2. What a move by Caden Kaiser. Reason why, again, he has been encroaching upon almost 20 a game this season.
Nice cut by him. Jump stop, gets to his left hand, reverse layup. Nice display of athleticism by Kaiser.
Donovan's tried to thread it through, but then Kaiser with active hands also leads the team in steals. McMillan gets it jarred free. Back for Rehack. Loses it, and it stays with Fox Chapel. Fox Chapel last year 16-12 overall. Beat Bethel Park in the 5th place game to qualify for states. You look over at Peters Township, 17-6 overall last year, but an early exit out of the playoffs. Fell to Kiski area by 7 in the first round. Kaiser gets hit, and he earns himself a trip to the charity stripe.
Kaiser getting active in the paint and outside the arc, showing the versatility of his game.
The foul comes against Ben Miller, his team's first. I mentioned about Kaiser, he's dealt with some injuries throughout his career. Broke his wrist, was able to come back, has fought his way back. And then interestingly enough, during the summertime, really focused on getting stronger, working on his body. What did he do? He did not go to the weight room. Instead, he worked for a tree business locally, hauling down trees and bushes as a former football player, JP. As we see Lucas Rost along with Evan McCullough check in for Peters Township. Do you think that's a pretty interesting, or at least maybe a creative way to get some workout in?
Definitely a creative way. That's how you develop grown man strength, they call it. You know, any type of manual labor, landscaping, masonry, that's going to get you tougher for sure.
Well, many have noted of his transformation, and clearly it's evident. Right on cue. It's like he knows we're talking about him with the steal. His free throws also make it a 6-point separation. Fox Chapel trying to keep that winning streak alive and hand Peters Township a 2nd loss in their last 3 games. McMillan. Stocky retreats. He's got the Stanford football commit Vaccarello all over him. Kaiser with Donovan. Both teams leading scorers, challenging each other, but a travel, and Donovan wins this battle.
Love the defensive effort by Vaccarello. He was all over the point guard there. Active feet, showing his display of ability to change direction.
Peters Township trying to cut into this deficit. Rost does just that.
That'll help.
From straight away to make it a 3-point separation. Talked about Dylan Donovan, but it's been the other players stepping up for the Indians.
And that's going to take pressure off Donovan as the game goes on, knowing that he can trust his role players to step up.
Kaiser heads right back to the free throw line. Foul comes against Vaccarello. That is his first, team 2nd in the 2nd quarter. Beautiful shot there by Rost, one of the many juniors on this Peters roster. Kaiser right back to the free throw line. This is the first.
Struggling from the line so far, but he's been hot on all other parts of the floor so far.
Rehack checks in for Fox Chapel and takes out Docky. Yeah, really, this kind of seemed like Kaiser's team coming into the season. You lose Jefferson Moorfield Brown for Fox Chapel, and ultimately, as a head ball is whistled and it goes back down for Peters Township, ultimately it's Kaiser's team that he takes over, comes into this season. He's clearly grabbed the reins of the group and is just not giving it up. Peters Township with a chance to tie things up here on this possession, almost halfway gone in the 2nd quarter. Active hands by Rehack, and he jars it free. Here comes White. Kaiser splits. Oh, and a pretty finish inside, nearly ripped the rim down with him.
I think he thought about it, don't you think, Jack?
I think he was thinking long and hard about it, but he'd rather take the 2 than the miss. Donovan with the retreat, the float, all air. Ross, though, on the weak side, up and under. Little English to finish it off. Back to a 3-point separation.
Little English off the glass. Nice touch on the reverse layup.
Kaiser can't reel it in, and Peters Township again with an opportunity to even things out here. Thelk, Miller, along with Wetzel all back in for Peters Township. McGivney back in for Fox Chapel.
After a slow start, Peters' defense has got them right back into this game. They have Fox Chapel rattled.
Yeah, it's a really good defense that limits teams to under 48 points per game. Good for top 3 in Section 3 of 5A. Nick McCullough weaves through. Can't finish. Batted around, and White's got it.
Nice move by McCullough to get to the cup. Sure, he wishes he could have that one back.
McGivney. Dices through, loses it. Thelk right there. Indians trying to pull even here with Fox Chapel. The Foxes have led for the entirety of this one, but an easy call there. Thelk hit with the offensive, his first, team's third.
Little push off with the forearm. That's going to get called every time.
Yeah, great job the whole way through for Fox Chapel. Team that is not afraid to take some charges. Three and a half remain in this second quarter. Fox Chapel trying to continue their winning ways against Peters Township. Last time the Indians beat the Foxes, you have to go back to 2007. Foul against Peters Township, and Rost caught with his hand in the cookie jar, his second personal, team's fourth.
And that's going to happen for Peters Township. Because of the tenacity they play with on defense, you're going to have some ticky-tack fouls. But we'll take that exchange all day long.
Yeah, these are two teams that have no problem asserting their physicality early. Rehack cuts through, loses it. And once again, the Indians with possession and a chance to try and level the playing field out. Dylan Donovan checks back in for Peters Township.
Let's go, FC.
Peters trying to avoid second loss in their last 3, get back to their winning ways. Able to do that recently against Norwin after suffering that first loss to Baldwin. Ben Miller throws that to nobody, and it's back down for Fox Chapel.
Both these teams turning the ball over pretty often so far early in this game here. A little uncharacteristic. Could be the atmosphere. Could be the pressure of just being in a bigger arena, more eyes on you.
Haven't seen a ton of paint touches by either of these teams. A lot of perimeter work, maybe try and get down low some. Rehack trying to play a 2-man game with Kaiser, and he finds Kaiser. 2.5 to go in the second quarter. Kaiser twirls, dishes, Rehack swatted, but a foul. Miller, the guilty party, his second, and now the team's 5th.
Miller doesn't like the call there. Thought he got all ball. Think he got him with the body, though. I think that's what the call was for.
As I was mentioning about Rehack, just like Kaiser, he's had to deal with some injuries throughout his career. But he's been a player that has seen a lot of time going back to his freshman season as he gets the first free throw to go. Team leader in assists. So you can tell, JP, there's a lot of personnel for this Fox Chapel team that can hurt you in a variety of ways, as we see Maloki along with Grant Fenton check in for the Foxes.
Yeah, they're deep. They're star heavy at the top with Kaiser and White, but Rehack will also give you 6 points a game, as you mentioned, team leader in assists. They have a lot of different ways that they can hurt you. Little off topic, Jack, as a basketball junkie yourself, what do Peters Township's uniforms resemble, the shorts specifically?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot here. Rehack gets the free throw.
They're the Chicago Bulls shorts.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see it a little bit now. Okay, I see it a little bit now. I see what the outline. Okay, yeah. I see. You're a step ahead of me, JP. That's why you're here, my friend. Got to make sure that I stay on my toes.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm glad. I know you got to do that, man. Got to make sure I'm paying attention. 2 minutes to go in the half. Donovan finds a lane, the window, iron unkind. Rehack resets. High pass for Fenton, but somehow reels it in. Tight ropes. Great defense by Thelk. And a timeout called by Coach Skrinjar of Fox Chapel. Don't move a muscle. We've got more basketball when we come back right here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Complicated payment processing slowing you down? Tired of the same old event management system? Wishing your donation campaigns could run themselves? We can help. Whether you're with a corporation, EMS agency, fire department, school, or small business, eServices Payment Technology has something for you. What started as a top-notch payment processing system has turned into a digital phenomenon. Digital payments, membership management, fund drive optimization, marketing consulting, and reserved seating. Yes, schools, I'm talking to you. If you have a payment, we have a simplified process. Visit eServicesStack.com to...
Fox Chapel has led the entirety of this one, and Peters Township playing catch-up, trying to avoid slipping into the loss column for a second time in the last 3 games. Johnny Patrician, Jack Ridenauer here with you for the final game of the Pittsburgh Holiday Hoops Classic, all presented by the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. JP, definitely an exciting one here in this 5A versus 6A battle. Battle of the classes, maybe, if you will.
Yeah, battle of the classes for sure, bragging rights.
Dockey's leaner spits out. Peters Township trying to carve down on the deficit. Miller leans and finishes. Strong move to make it a 3-point separation.
Nice patience by Miller there. Cuts back into the paint, gets to his strong hand.
Fenton doesn't stay in play. Back down for Peters Township, but again, JP, we've seen this time and time again in the first half. The door swung wide open for the Indians to try and tie or maybe even take a lead, and they just aren't able to capitalize.
Yeah, but Peters' defense, that's what's keeping them in the game here. They're forcing Fox Chapel to a lot of self-inflicted turnovers, getting them off their game. White back into the game here for Fox Chapel.
Donovan works on Dockey. Dips it back down, Vaccarello, bucket and a foul. And the Stanford football commit with a chance to tie things up.
Nice find there by Donovan to get to Vaccarello. As you see it on the replay there, Vaccarello's gonna make that shot 10 times out of 10, especially with a defender draped all over him. With his strength, he goes up strong and gets the and one.
And Dockey, he's going to have to take a seat now with 2 fouls. Him and Moser both starters for Fox Chapel in some foul trouble. McMillan checks back in for the Foxes. This feels like a big free throw because it could tie things up and maybe put Peters Township at level playing field going into halftime. Vaccarello doesn't do that though. Another lost opportunity for the Indians. Inside of a minute to go. Fox Chapel looking for that 7th win this season. They have been in control of this one the entirety of the opening half. McMillan in trouble. Kaiser. Picked up by Miller. Number 1 option here for Fox Chapel. Going to work on Miller, finds a lane, soars, bucket and a foul, the strength by Kaiser, and a chance at 3.
Kaiser lulled his defender to sleep there, backed him the whole way up to half court, had a lot of space to work with, gets to his strong hand, and when he picked up that dribble with 2 steps to go, there was no stopping him from the cup.
And just to pour salt in the wound for the Indians, that is Ben Miller's 3rd personal foul. So that is going to definitely change how maybe the guard play is played in the second half. Jake Wetzel checks in for Peters Township.
Ben Miller so far has been the guy that Peters has tried to set on Kaiser so far to slow him down in this first half. He's a pest, which is the biggest compliment you can give to a defender.
Stretches the lead back to 4. Final possession here in the opening half. Peters Township trying to carry some momentum with them into the break, maybe pull within 1. Foul taken there by Fox Chapel. First on Fenton, team's 3rd, and now with no more one-on-one in high school basketball, this becomes a new type of approach for some of these teams.
Definitely a different strategy these coaches can plan with.
John Rehack back in for Fox Chapel. And for those of you unaware, they have changed the foul setup in high school basketball. Now, just like the NBA and Division I women's basketball, limit is 5, no more one-on-ones. Donovan with 5, bowls his way forward, and he earns a chance at 2 at the stripe.
Donovan with his aggressiveness, heading to the cup again, getting to his right hand. I'm sure he wishes he could have finished that layup, though. Just left it a little bit short.
Donovan last year, one of many all-section performers for Peters. Gets the first one to go. And for the Indians, Evan McCullough, along with Mickey Vaccarello. Donovan was one of 6 all-section performers. But the lone, or at least one of 2, of the second-team performers to return, the one that did not return, Nate Miller, now playing at Mount Union. Batted around, missed chance. Rehack's got it. Kaiser at the buzzer. Oh, and it goes! Caden Kaiser! Have yourself a first half, young man. The exclamation point for the Foxes' leading scorer. And what a way to go into half. Reason why he's been able to guide Fox Chapel to a 6-1 start, and they're looking for that 7th win. Don't move a muscle. We've got an exciting announcement at halftime, and then some highlights all coming up next, right here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Back here at the half inside of PPG Paints Arena, 23-17, Fox Chapel in front of Peters Township. Johnny Patrician, Jack Ridenauer here with you. And let's get a look here, JP, of the Steel City High School hoops schedule. All these games will be on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Some really exciting matchups. I don't know about you, JP, but the Imani Christian Upper St. Clair game to kick things off on January 7th, that's got my full attention with Imani Christian going up to 6A, and then a doubleheader for Peters Township later on in the season. But I'm also looking at January 25th, Knock and Bell Vernon. BVA's got one of the best scorers in the entire county and the entire, arguably, state in Zion Moore. What stands out to you, my friend?
The doubleheader for girls and boys for Peters Township, that's pretty cool. I think Imani Christian and Upper St. Clair jumps out to me because 2 totally different programs. Imani Christian, extremely talented. Upper St. Clair is great year in and year out. A program that, built a foundation on toughness and gritty basketball. 2 really totally different worlds in that game. I'm excited to see that matchup.
If it was up to you, what is that February 7th game going to be?
The best 2 teams in 6A.
That's a good answer. Johnny Patrician, Jack Ridenauer, don't move a muscle. We've got highlights coming up next. And before you know it, second half action between Fox Chapel and Peters right here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
The best bulls in the world have come to town. the Bulls and their riders. Those 8 seconds go by in a heartbeat. 8 seconds to become a champion, or nothing. This is America, and this is PBR. It's full-time Pittsburgh. The U.S. Border Patrol PBR Pittsburgh, presented by Ariat, bucks into PPG Paints Arena January 24th and 25th. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.
Get ready, Pittsburgh. The Steel City High School Hoop Showcase is here. See the top talent in Whitfield take the court. Catch 10 weeks of unforgettable action this January on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. It all kicks off January 7th with Amani Christian at Upper St. Clair.
Think you've tried everything at Panera? Think again. Introducing more new sandwiches and salads with our new flavor-packed toasted Italiano and the mouth-watering Mediterranean chicken greens with grains. More in every bite, just like the new ciabatta cheesesteak with melty provolone and garlic aioli. And more new options under $10, including our new creamy bacon mac and cheese. Come taste the new era at Panera.
Disney Descendants and Zombies Worlds Collide Concert Tour. A one-of-a-kind concert experience coming summer 2025. Live on stage, singing all the hits. Tickets on sale now at DescendantZombiesLive.com.
At Leway, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Leway apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Leway to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
Six-point separation at the half between 6A Fox Chapel and 5A Peters Township. Battle of the classes, to say the least. Johnny Patricia and Jack Ridenauer here with you, and let's rewind the tape some and take a look back at those first half highlights. And needless to say, JP, we highlighted Caden Kaiser at the top of the broadcast, and what does he do? He goes out, inserts his name into the equation, and he really, I would say, stole the show, especially with that buzzer beater.
Well, he started the game with the bucket and ended the half with a bucket. I think his first bucket was in the first 20 seconds of the game, and his last bucket was in the last second of the half. So he's starting off hot, heading into the second half. I'm excited to see how he finishes this game.
If you're Peters right now, what do you think you have to do to slow down a guy like Kaiser? I mean, you've seen him get switched on to a bunch of different guys. What point do you maybe start to change things up drastically defensively?
I think the most important is they got to stay out of foul trouble. I think their ace on defense is Ben Miller. He was getting into Kaiser's chest a little bit, face guarding, if you will. Guys who are scorers, they don't like that. And it's apparent that that was Peters Township's goal heading into this game, is we got to slow down Kaiser.
What does Fox Chapel need to do in this second half to kind of keep things going, build on this 6-point edge?
I think they need to slow things down a little bit and stop shooting themselves in the foot. Too many turnovers, unforced errors, especially in their half of the floor. They didn't even make it down to Peters Township's half of the court to get an opportunity to score. Too many unforced errors on their half of the floor.
Definitely an exciting first 2 quarters, but still 2 more quarters to figure this one out. Plenty of time for Peters Township to get back into this one, but if they're going to want to do that, they're going to have to stop that man right there. Caden Kaiser, he has been a one-man wrecking crew in this first half. Battle of the classes as Fox Chapel looking for a 4th straight win and trying to avoid their first loss against Peters since 2007. All coming up next right here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Marching into the third quarter with Fox Chapel in front and in the driver's seat, but Peters Township trying to wrestle the wheel right back. 6-point separation. Two teams riding high, and for Fox Chapel, a chance to keep their 3-game winning streak alive and push it to 4. Johnny Patrician, Jack Ridenauer here with you. JP, as a former dual sport athlete in high school, take me back to when you were in high school. How cool would this have been for you to be a part of an event like this and to be on a stage like this as well?
I mean, this is definitely the mecca of high school basketball, if you will. Playing on a stage in an arena like this, you know, sharing a locker room with the Penguins, or, you know, just seeing how a big-time atmosphere is. I had the fortune of, you know, playing at Heinz Field a number of times in high school before I played at Pitt, and, you know, you're just in awe. Playing on a stage like this, and it's something you'll never forget.
That's Johnny Patrician. I'm Jack Ridenauer. Thanks for hanging out this Sunday on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. As Anderson Dockey quickly inserts his name into the second half equation and draws the first foul of the third quarter. That comes against Sean Thelk, his second.
Peters Township foul on number 10, Sean Bell, his second, team first of the quarter.
Dockey, someone that's really worked his way into the lineup midway through the year last year. Younger brother of JP Dockey, he was one of the main contributors in that 2022 run to the WPIAL championship that this Fox Chapel team had. Second free throw good by Dockey. Pushes the lead to the biggest it's been, an 8-point edge for Fox Chapel, and now this starts to feel like danger zone for Peters Township.
Yes, it does. They need to answer. Nice backdoor cut.
Speaking it into fruition, my friend Nick McCullough with the layup.
You can tell that was a planned play coming out of halftime. Great way to start the second half.
White pops out. Too strong. Donovan with it. Chance to slim down the deficit even further. Vaccarello benefits from a beautiful dime by Donovan.
Nice drive and dish by Donovan there. Gets his man Vaccarello wide open on the block for an easy deuce.
Back around for Dockey. All of a sudden, Fox Chapel, they've got the Indians breathing down their necks. White. Kaiser, one of his first touches in this second half. Can't finish. Big possession here for Peters Township. They can make it a one-possession ball game. Can they get over this hump? Donovan works on Dockey, and Dockey now hit with his third foul. Team's first in the third quarter.
Donovan in attack mode. Love to see that. Nice spin in the paint there. Gets to the line. You know, Kaiser would love to finish that layup on the other end there, and he's going to take that opportunity every chance he gets. They give him a one-lane go, a one-way go, if you will, to the cup. He's going to go and try to finish strong with that tree-cutting strength he has.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you're just now joining us, Caden Kaiser spent the summer as a tree laborer hauling trees. Again, I love the creativity. Donovan makes one of two. Make this a 3-point separation. This ball game far from over, but right now the question is, can Peters Township get some stops strung together? Fox Chapel riding a 3-game winning streak into this one. Good hands by Miller, stays with the Foxes. Miller's been a pest defensively, as JP put it, but he's been in some foul trouble. Does have 3 of them.
Peters going to a little bit of a half-court zone here.
Kaiser slashes through and finishes for 2.
Great movement away from the ball for Kaiser there.
Donovan barges through and answers.
His pace is picking up a little bit here, Jack.
Back to a 3-point separation. Kaiser and Donovan both getting their feet wet here in the second half. And another foul, much to the chagrin of Peters Township faithful. That's on Sean Thelp. That's his third, and the team's second in the third. Now, the good thing is for Peters Township, despite Miller and Thelk both playing with 3 personal fouls, the Indians do have a very deep bench. They will go 9 deep, so the reserves clearly could be a major impact here. And another foul against Peters Township, this one on Dylan Donovan, so now he gets hit with his second, and it's the team's third.
Peters switching up their defensive scheme here on most of these possessions here in the second half early so far.
White left open to Strong. Fight for the rebound. White on the second try. Another miss. Batted around. Donovan's got it. Yet again, the Indians can balance things out here on this possession.
White started the game off hot, hitting 2 straight jumpers early. He's gone cold here early in the second half.
Wetzel saves it, but to the wrong team. Another lost opportunity there for Peters Township. White, Moser hesitates. Kaiser resets, trying to guide his Foxes to a 7th overall win. Not to mention avoid losing to Peters Township for the first time since '07. Still stays with Fox Chapel.
Come on, Foxes, let's go.
Love this defensive effort here by Peters Township. No quitting this team. They've been down almost the entire game so far, but they're not giving up. Playing with a lot of hustle and effort. Diving on the floor.
Moser offline. McGivney keeps it alive amongst the trees. Rehack bounces off. Miller inhales it. Still stays with the Indians. But this feels like, JP, that if Peters Township does not capitalize on these miscues by Fox Chapel, it could be tough sledding the rest of the way.
Yeah, I agree. They got the stop they needed. Now they need to take advantage on this offensive possession here.
Wetzel finds Nick McCullough. Last year he was an all-section performer on the second team. One of 2 second-team all-section performers returning for the Indians. Miller swerves. Chance here for the Indians to tie. Donovan bobs and weaves, flips, swatted. Kaiser saying not so fast.
Kaiser with that long reach. Gets the paw on the basketball, all ball block. Throws it out of bounds. That's good on good right there, Donovan on Kaiser.
Yeah, fun matchup between those two. Rost. Donovan curls. Offensive foul. Not to mention, that's Donovan's 3rd personal foul, the team's 4th. And now decision-making time for Coach Joe Ehrman. What to do with your leading scorer with 3 fouls.
Smart play by McMillan there. He stood in there waiting for the charge. Selfless play by the young guard there.
McGivney, cut off. Kaiser swivels. Side of 4 to go in the 3rd quarter. 1 possession game. Donovan rips it away. Trying to make it a 1-point game. He loses it, but it does stay with Peters Township. Back comes Sean Thelk for the Indians.
Donovan had a one-on-one chance opportunity there. I wonder if that foul situation lingered in his head a little bit. Made him hesitate going to the cup a little bit there.
Grant Fenton back in for Fox Chapel. 3-point difference. Fox Chapel's led the entirety of this one. Peters Township, they have hung around the entire way. Ross dishes back out. Evan McCullough for the tie, and he gets it. Much needed trifecta, and all of a sudden, we're all square at 27. Peters trying to avoid a 2nd loss in their last 3. And trying to snap Fox Chapel's 3-game winning streak. McGivney provides much needed scoring off the bench for the Foxes. Fenton spins, dishes. McGivney deep on Vaccarello, throws it away. But Nick McCullough not in play. So it does stay with Fox Chapel.
McGivney got stuck down there on the baseline, picked his dribble up amongst the trees. It's not where he wants to be.
And what a shot here to tie things up. Evan McCullough coming in and splashing a major 3-pointer. Three minutes to go in the 3rd. 2 teams that finished north of 500 last year, duking it out here this season, as it looks like Vaccarello and White having to be broken up there. Dockey finds White. Fox Chapel trying to go back in front. White steps through, kicks out. Fox is reset. Looking for a much-needed bucket. They have gone cold the last few minutes. Kaiser. Moser punctures through, hangs, and he's fouled, and he falls hard. That's always a very scary sign for athletes, especially with the increase in awareness in head trauma.
Yeah, the building went quiet pretty quickly there. Looks like he's okay, though.
Vaccarello hit with the foul, his second, team's fifth, so the foul issues continue to avalanche out of control for Peters. Moser misses the free throw. Dylan Donovan back in for Peters. Moser, a player that was a bench player predominantly last season, but he's really carved out a starting role this year. Career high is 10 points. Hasn't scored in double digits this season, though, but his presence felt defensively, and he gives the Foxes the lead right back as Ben Miller re-enters in for Peters Township. Evan McCullough, moments ago, had a major game-tying three. Under 2.5 to go. Vaccarello works on White. Vaccarello burrows deep, met by a double and a foul against Fox Chapel, just the team's second. But Rehack sharing his displeasure because he's the guilty party, his first.
Interesting strategy there by Fox Chapel to double Vaccarello on the block. Vaccarello's a strong kid there. Like to think he has the advantage there with his strength on the block against White.
Frank Siegel checks in for Fox Chapel. Siegel, one of just 2 freshmen on this Fox's roster. Donovan probes, kicks, Rost. Vaccarello nearly gave Peters their first lead of the night. Comes up empty, and now Fox Chapel a chance to build on their 1-point advantage. Rehack finds a lane, hangs, and it spits out. Halfway down and out. And the door swung ajar here for Peters to try and take that first lead of the contest. Donovan gives the Indians their first lead.
What a pretty floater. That thing was up in the air forever, it seemed like.
Just a nice, soft, gentle touch. 90 seconds to play till the 4th. Fox Chapel trying to protect that winning streak, but Peters Township, they're trying to put an end to it. McMillan, minute 20 to go. White, Kaiser wants it, and he gets it. Met by a triumvirate of Indians, nearly stolen. Inside for Siegel, flips it up, rolls off. Rehack rips it away, goes up, bucket and a foul. Gives the Foxes the lead right back.
Vaccarello giving a ton of effort down there. He thought he was straight up. Nice job by Rehack to go up strong, double clutch. Finish with the right hand off the glass, and one.
Wetzel and Thelk back in for Peters. And that is now Vaccarello's third. So you've got Thelk, Miller, Donovan, and Vaccarello, 4 of your 5 starters with 3 fouls. Things could get interesting in the 4th quarter. Rehack completes the old-fashioned 2-point advantage. Minute to play in the 3rd. Peters trying to avoid a second loss in their last 3 games. And a good dribble drive by Ross to draw a foul against the Foxes. That comes on McMillan, his second, team's 3rd.
Under a minute here in the 3rd quarter. Looks like we finally got a 4-quarter matchup here, Jack.
It should be an exciting 4th quarter. And these 2 teams, when they meet up, it definitely goes down to the wire. Last time they faced off in 2021, it was a 5-point separation in favor of Fox Chapel. Indians, though, looking for their first win against Fox Chapel since '07. Rost bullies through. Donovan Dart free, great hands by Rehack. Big play there because Donovan could have given the Indians a lead right back.
They keep getting close, but they can't get over that hump.
An illegal screen. Kaiser hit with the foul. That is just his first, the team's fourth, but it gives the possession right back to Peters. And give credit, though, to Kaiser. I mean, his first foul plays this much.
Surprising,
That's
right?
impressive. Nick McCullough stretches, goes up, spits off, and a foul.
There's a second, I think.
Fox Chapel foul number 25, Jake McMillan.
I'll give this to McMillan. You were close, though. That is McMillan's third, team's fifth. And so for Nick McCullough, the second-team all-section performer from a year ago, a chance to tie things at the stripe. Misses there. Miller back in for Peters, along with Evan McCullough, while Moser checks back in for Fox Chapel.
Checking in, Evan McCullough, Ben Miller, and Mike Moser.
Would like to see Fox Chapel take advantage down in the paint now with Vaccarello out of the game.
Empty trip, another lost opportunity for the Indians. Every time it looks like they're getting a little bit closer. They just cannot convert. White nearly gets the shooter's bounce. Saved into the hands of Rehack. Offline. Back tapped, kept alive by Moser. 10 seconds to play till the fourth.
Come on, Frank.
Siegel. Rehack. Can't reel it in. So Peters with 3.8 and a chance to either tie or take a lead going to the fourth. What a momentum shifter this could be, JP. And a timeout taken by Peters Township. Put your little coaching hat on. If you're Fox Chapel right now, what's the message in the timeout?
I think it is you got to get it to your star player, Kaiser. And I mean, he did it at the end of the first half. He has a little bit more time to work with, though. Heaved the last one from a couple steps inside half court. I think you got to get him on some sort of down screen action. Try to get him a clean look, but you would have to imagine Peters Township is thinking that Fox Chapel is going to do exactly that.
Yeah, for Peters Township, this feels like, again, another chance to try and get themselves into this game. They've been in it, but it's a matter of just going toe-to-toe with Fox Chapel. And Coach Joe Yerman, he has been in these positions before. 12 years as a head coach between 2 stops. 5 years at Peters, 7 at Baldwin. Speaking of Peters and Baldwin, actually, the Steel City Hoops Showcase will be covering that later in January. A little rematch as those two met up not long ago. And it was Baldwin taking down Peters to give the Indians their first loss of the year. But Coach Skrinjar trying to help his Foxes to a 4th straight win. Ross inbounds, nearly stolen. Nick McCullough can't get it. Rehack at the buzzer. Ooh. We go to the fourth, 2-point ball game. Should be a scintillating finish here for Game 4, our final one of the Pittsburgh Holiday Hoops Classic, all presented by the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marines Corps, all coming up next on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
The best bulls in the world have come to town. For bulls and their riders, those 8 seconds go by in a heartbeat. 8 seconds to become a champion, or nothing. This is America, and this is PBR. It's full-time Pittsburgh, the U.S. Border Patrol PBR Pittsburgh, presented by Ariat. Bucks into PPG Paints Arena, January 24th and 25th. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.
Pittsburgh, we're coming. The Harlem Globetrotters World Tour is coming back to PPG Paints Arena on December 26th. Continue their tradition or create a new one. For tickets, go to harlemglobetrotters.com.
Disney Descendants and Zombies Worlds Collide Concert Tour. A one-of-a-kind concert experience coming summer 2025. Live on stage singing all the hits. Starring Kylie Cantrell, Freya Sky, Malia Baker, Malachi Barton, Daryl Renee, Joshua Collins, and Makan Knight. Disney Descendants and Zombies Worlds Collide Concert Tour. Tickets on sale now at DescendantsZombiesLive.com.
Quiet on set? No way. This is Jake's time to shine. And Ryan's, and our crew. Cameras, check. Drones, check. Checking that shot we just checked? Double check. We ain't got time to chill. We're out here capturing this action. This is when we get to work, to bring you every moment live, no matter what. Broadcasting changes everything. Transform how you experience the game with JRM Video Production.
Get ready, Pittsburgh. The Steel City High School Hoop Showcase is here. See the top talent in Whitfield take the court. Catch 10 weeks of unforgettable action this January on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. It all kicks off January 7th with Amani Christian at Upper St. Clair.
Fox Chapel, Peters Township duking it out here in the final game of the Pittsburgh Holiday Hoops Classic presented by the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Fresh set of 8 minutes. Indians have not defeated the Foxes since 2007. They've got a prime chance here this Sunday evening. Johnny Patrician, Jack Ridenauer here with you. Donovan carves out space, finds Nick McCullough for the lead. No. And it's back down for Fox Chapel.
They keep getting close to taking the lead, but they just can't get over that hump, Jack.
That's got to be a frustrating feeling, too, I'm sure. I mean, you get so close, but you just cannot get over that barrier.
Yeah, but I think after the slow start, they go down in the games, down 7-0. I think, you still have a fighter's chance in this game, only down a bucket.
Fox Chapel has led for a majority of this one outside of a brief lead that Peters had in the third quarter. Fox Chapel with a lot of momentum behind them, trying to keep that winning streak alive. Moser, back to Rehack. Dockey has basketball coursing through his veins. His older brother part of the championship team. Ooh. And with moves like that, Fox Chapel can get back to a title game. Rehack pushes the lead to 4.
Rehack got up there and quick. Nice little tap on the backboard after he laid it in.
Donovan finds a lane, but contested. Rehack with tremendous defense.
Let's go, Foxes!
Dockey, not the controls. Last year, Fox Chapel, they played in this event, but they fell at the buzzer to Alderdice. Coach Skrinjar calls a timeout. So it feels like for Fox Chapel, they've got a little bit maybe of added motivation than the other teams here because they know what it's like to lose in a big time atmosphere like this, especially at the buzzer.
Yeah, that's a painful way to lose. And those players that were a member of that team, they won't forget that.
Now here's a fun full circle moment here for you, JP. Like mentioned about Peters and Fox Chapel, last time that they met up, 2021, Peters Township lost 69-64. Fox Chapel wins. Coincidentally enough, that was the same season Fox Chapel won their second ever WPIAL crown. The last time they were also in 6A, full circle moment, they've got a chance to beat Peters here in their first year back in 6A since being in 5A.
Definitely a full circle moment. These two teams, they don't play that often, but when they do, it's always a classic game.
Yeah, this also feels like maybe for the Indians, I don't want to say bragging rights, but you have to take a lot of confidence away if you can beat a 6A opponent like Fox Chapel.
No doubt about it. Yeah, they're coming in here with a chip on their shoulder. They got something to prove. And they've been hanging in this game the whole time. It doesn't look like that big of a drop-off from 6A to 5A in this showcase right here.
Yeah, without question, these two have been squaring up, trading blow for blow. Should be an exciting final 6.5 minutes here in our final game of the Pittsburgh Holiday Hoops Classic. Thanks for spending your whole Sunday with us. An illegal screen called on Dockey, and that is his 4th foul, team's first. But now it's decision-making time for Coach Skrinjar, and he immediately goes to the freshman, Frank Siegel, to take out Dockey.
Second time Fox Chapel has been called for an illegal screen tonight. Gotta imagine that's frustrating. Getting called for an offensive foul before you can even get set up in your own territory.
Some big minutes here for the freshman Siegel playing off the bench. And a huge opportunity here. Help guide his Foxes to a 7th overall win. Donovan drags through, finds a lane, and a nice finish. Back to a 1-possession game.
Nice shot there by Donovan, using the right hand. Almost a kind of a hook shot, you will. Hook shot layup. Didn't even take the chance of getting blocked there. Nice touch on that shot.
Kaiser nearly loses it. Siegel, ball fakes. Patient can't pay off. Back down for Peters Township. Door still left a crack open. Indians could take just their second lead of the ball game here. Time is of the essence for Peters Township if they're looking for their first win against Fox Chapel in more than 15 years.
You mentioned Siegel, the freshman. That's not easy to do, play varsity basketball in a 6A school, let alone a good competitive 6A team like Fox Chapel.
Nick McCullough twirls, can't finish. Right on cue is Siegel with the rebound. Freshman gets tumbled in transition, and Rost, the guilty party, that's his third and the team's first in the fourth. And I'm sure for Siegel, not to mention playing in an atmosphere like this as a freshman.
It's crazy to think about. He was in middle school 6 months ago. He was in 8th grade.
Wow, the way you put that, JP, made me feel very old.
I know, right?
Pretty impressive. Vaccarello comes away with the steal. Peters Township again with a prime opportunity here. Rost inside Vaccarello, he can't tie it. But he gets the loose change. Can he get on the second try? Basket and a foul. Another chance to give the Indians a lead.
Talk about second chances. Misses the layup on a great pass by Rost. Doesn't pout about it, gets it right back and gets the and one. Nice jump stop, pump fake, holds in the air, and lays it up strong.
White gets hit with his first foul. McGivney checks in to take out White. Vaccarello, a tremendous football player. Chance to give the Indians a lead.
You can tell he's a football player, the only one on the court with ankle socks. That just shows toughness right there.
Was that a popular one for you, JP, when you were going from football to basketball?
Well, you'd always razz the kids that had ankle socks, but you know he's rocking it with style, with confidence. Clearly a tough kid, looks the part.
Turnover by Fox Chapel. Peters Township again, they can go ahead. They've led just one time this entire ball game. Siegel gets whistled for the foul, his first, team's third. This is a Fox Chapel team that prides themselves on defense, so I'm sure at times they'll maybe take a gamble like that here and there. McMillan does take out the aforementioned Siegel. Peters cheerleaders trying to cheer their Indians to a victory. Almost halfway gone in this fourth quarter. Window of opportunity slowly closing for one of these two teams to get that 7th overall win. Active hands by McMillan, nearly ripped away, but Miller can't stay in play, and it's back down for Fox Chapel.
Tie game here, halfway through the fourth. What more can you ask for? Every bucket matters at this point. As you would imagine, this game's going to slow down. You know, every possession matters.
And it feels like the defense is going to really be vital for both these teams in the final 4:30.
I'd like to see Kaiser get back involved here. He's been quiet so far in the second half.
Rehack trying to blaze away. Nearly travels. Kaiser wants it back, and he's fouled. Nick McCullough gets whistled for it, his second, team's second.
Indians foul number 23, Nick McCullough, his second, team's second.
4:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Back and forth we've gone really the entirety of this ball game. Rehack retreats and resets. Battle of the classes, 5A Peters, 6A Fox Chapel. What a quality win it could be for Peters, beating a team in a classification up from them. Moser works on Vaccarello.
Kaiser working the post, he wants it.
And he gets it. Buried deep, hops through. But they say that the foul is before the shot.
Oh man, that's a killer. What a shot though.
That was impressive. the body control and all. Nick McCullough gets hit with it. That's his third, team's third. So again, this is turning into who from the bench for Peters can step up. Rost, Miller, Thelk, McCullough, Donovan, and Vaccarello all with 3. But the defense still pays off, and Peters somehow emerges away with a chance to leapfrog ahead. And a foul against Fox Chapel. If this is on Moser, it's his third, and that's exactly the case. Team's 4th.
Busy evening for the referees here tonight.
Very busy. Well, like you said, I mean, the pace of play is kind of slowed down, so you got to think the defense maybe is getting a little bit more aggressive.
Yep.
Vaccarello spins, fades, and hits.
What a shot. Fade away off the glass on the baseline. Gotta imagine the angle of accuracy there.
Indians jump back in front of Fox Chapel, taking a late lead with a little bit more than 3 to play in the 4th. Off-ball foul, and it's against Fox Chapel. This is on Kaiser. It's his 2nd. The team's 5th.
I want to see this here on replay. A little bit of a good acting job there by Peters Township. I think it was a good, clean, strong screen.
Got to fake it till you make it.
Yep, and it worked. Can't blame him.
Miller knifes through and finishes. Biggest lead of the ballgame for the Indians. They have not defeated Fox Chapel since '07, but they're less than 3 minutes away from accomplishing that feat. McGivney in the corner for White. Money!
Oh, man. We got a ball game here, Jack.
1 point separation. We sway back and forth in the battle of classes. Timeout, Peters Township. Man, oh man. If you are not scooted all the way on the edge of your seat, you've come late to the party. This has got a photo finish in the making, JP.
Yes, it does. And just when we thought Peters Township was running away with the momentum, White gives the answer that Fox Chapel needed. Hitting that 3 ball. He was gone cold for a little bit. Heated up early in the first half, but he ends that scoring drought right there.
37-36. JP, you asked me before the game what my prediction was. Low-scoring defense. It's exactly what we're getting, my friend. These are teams that really, especially Fox Chapel, I mean, Coach Skrinjar has made a career out of building high school programs based around defense. And for Peters Township, a team that is carrying a lot of momentum from last year. 17 wins for them. Not to mention they had the best offense in all of Class 5A. Come back this year, averaging a little bit less than last year, but still very much so in the mix.
Yeah, and we won't tell the viewers what exactly your score prediction was, but it's going to be really close. And if it is, you better go play the lottery tonight.
I am not a betting man for good reason, my friend. Johnny Patrician, Jack Ridenauer here with you. Happy holidays from our family to yours here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Final 2.5 in this one. Little back screen, Vaccarello slips and finishes. Oh, they call it poetry in motion for a reason.
Man, that was pretty. Perfectly executed. The slip screen by Vaccarello gets to his sweet spot on the block. Now Fox Chapel needs another answer desperately right here.
Fox Chapel led almost by double digits in the second half, but Donovan smushing back the shot by Moser. 2 minutes to go, and the Foxes staring at a deficit. Donovan.
Donovan has an opportunity here to put this game into a 2-score game. He likes this matchup here.
Feels the double come, finds Miller. Punctures, kicks. Rost, eyes up, timeout by Peters Township. This is where the no shot clock becomes a very interesting aspect because theoretically, this could force Fox Chapel into having to foul Peters with still over a minute to go.
You're right. Man, has Peters Township come on strong in this fourth quarter here. Their best offensive basketball of all the game, I would say, just within these past couple minutes here.
What do you think it's been since the first half into the second half for Peters?
Well, I really think their aggressive defensive tenacity has paid off I think it's worn on Fox Chapel throughout the game. I think Kaiser has gone quiet in this fourth quarter. He hasn't even had the ball much. To me, it seems like he needs to go get it, and that's what you expect if you're Fox Chapel. Your star player needs to come big in these biggest moments here.
How do you think the Foxes can maybe set something up offensively for Kaiser, really get him a quality look?
I think they got to get him a down screen, get him in the ball, get him the ball at the top of the key here, give him room to work, and that's what he likes. He likes that one-on-one matchup. Allow him to drive to the cup and kick it out to one of those shooters like White in the corner.
Well, should be an exciting final few minutes. All here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Because Kaiser's been really working the low post here in the second half, and when they get him the ball down there, Peters Township has collapsed on him, making him give the ball up. So I'd love to see him get the ball at the top of the key and give him room to work.
Oh, what a drought that could end here for Peters Township. You have to go back to 2007, the infancy of iPhones. The last win Peters Township beat Fox Chapel. Rost. Now the game of keep away. Donovan, pestered, in trouble, blitzed and fouled. And Kaiser acting like it's on him, but this might be on Rehack. It is. So that is Rehack's second. And this puts Peters at the free throw line to shoot two. So again, another wrinkle in the rules. No more one-on-one. One-and-one, excuse me.
But if Peters is going to send anybody to the line, I think they feel pretty confident with Donovan there.
Chance to make this a two-possession game. Good on the first. Cool, calm, and collected from your leading scorer.
He is very calm. Fox Chapel's pressuring him around midcourt here, and he didn't bat an eye.
5-point separation. Biggest lead Peters Township has had. Fox Chapel, who led for about 85% of this game, in jeopardy of losing their winning streak. Oh. Anderson almost got away with a case of happy feet, but he still gets freed up and he puts in the jumper. Timeout, Coach Scrinjar. Boy, oh boy. I'm sure he can probably wipe away that stress sweat from his brow. Let's see if he traveled.
The mid-range jumper there. People were saying it's extinct in basketball.
Yeah, that is another interesting aspect of the game of basketball, especially at the high school level.
Yeah.
It's hard to have that in-between game.
It is. Everything's either a three or a layup anymore. I know guys like Carmelo Anthony and Tracy McGrady would like to disagree.
And even Kevin Durant, guys that are almost kind of going extinct, if you will.
And in a high school basketball level, I can see why, because it's such a low percentage shot. And if you're going to shoot a jumper from, 18 feet away, you might as well just shoot a three-pointer.
Absolutely. Why take two when you can have three? Right now, though, for Peters Township, how can they hold on to this lead? Because it's getting into crunch time, and you got to think that Fox Chapel, they are going to send out all the troops defensively.
Yeah, they will. And although they've been in foul trouble mostly the second half, even the entire game, Peters Township has, but they can use that aggressive nature that they have on defense in full force for the rest of this game here.
Peters started the season 5-0. They had some huge wins along the way. They destroyed a Shaler area team that last year made a deep run in the States, beat Shaler by 30 in that game, lost to a Baldwin team that I think a lot of people are feeling that they could make a run at a section title before bouncing back with a much-needed win against Norwin. Have a chance here to get a second straight win, avoid another loss at the hands of the Foxes. Nearly stolen, and Moser fouls Rost. And Moser gets hit with his fourth foul. What would be running through your mind right now, JP, if you were going to the free throw line in this situation?
I got to be honest, I did not like shooting free throws at the end of the game. Not my best asset.
Ross misses. Big free throw here because he can make it a two-possession game. And the best Fox Chapel could do is pull within one. One of two. 4-point separation. Fox Chapel trying to stay alive. 68 seconds remain. White, Rehack, much needed three. Too strong. Kaiser
nice
leaps
rebound.
for it, goes back up, and he's fouled. Going to the line to shoot a pair.
Kaiser averages 6 rebounds a game. You got to imagine none bigger than that one right there.
And he absolutely springboarded for that. Like a pogo stick. Now these are humongous free throws for him to make it a 2-point game. Empty on the first. One of two. 3-point game. 58 seconds remain. Rost blitzed. Donovan gets it over to the front court. Miller streaks down, dishes. Vaccarello up and under, and he puts it in.
Great execution to defeat the full court press there by Peters Township. Gets to a 2-on-1 break, and Vaccarello finishes with a reverse lefty layup.
White, an illegal screen. It's against Moser. That's his 5th foul. Oh, what a swing of momentum it's been the last few minutes. And all Fox Chapel can do is sit and watch. And Peters can feel the drought coming to an end. It's been 18 long years since Peters last beat Fox Chapel. And they're trying to cling to this one. A timeout taken here by Fox Chapel. But what a topsy-turvy game we've got here, JP. I mean, you've got Fox Chapel who, let's not forget, they led it at the half by 6. Caden Kaiser hits that three-pointer at the buzzer, and you're thinking, oh boy, it's going to be a long second half. What does Peters do? They come out and they've grinded each of the last 2 quarters.
Yeah, they have. And if you're Fox Chapel and they lose this game, you have to feel like this one slipped away from them. They had control of this game for 75% of it so far. But Peters, you got to give them credit. They have not given up. They've been fighting for every bucket they've gotten. And I still got to give credit to their defense. They've really slowed White and Kaiser down in the second half. And it's going to pay off soon here.
Well, it's a defense that is 3rd best in Section 3. Last year, they also allowed the fewest points per game defensively in all of Section 1, 54. They averaged almost 73, so it's almost head-scratching as to how Peters did not make it past the opening round of the WPIAL playoffs. But they've given Coach Skrinjar and Fox Chapel a lot to fight for. 37 seconds remain until Peters can snap Fox Chapel's winning streak. Miller races away, but can't fully escape. A foul comes against Dockey, and that's his 5th. What a job by Peters, too, JP. They've got most of their starters with 3 or more fouls, and nobody's fouled out. While for Fox Chapel, they've now had 2 players foul out.
Yeah, we've talked all game about the fouling situation for Peters Township, but they've stayed aggressive. They haven't allowed it to change the way they attack the cup. Right on point there, as Donovan's asking somebody in the crowd how many fouls he has.
I was looking around like, who's he looking at?
Yeah.
His bench is the other way. Big free throw here for Miller. Make this a 3-possession ball game. He can't. Secured. A wrestling match. Held ball, and it favors Fox Chapel.
Fox Chapel ball.
Well, that makes this a little bit more interesting here. Fox Chapel given another opportunity to decrease this deficit.
Trying to make it a 1-possession game. Time running out. In jeopardy of losing for the 2nd time this season are the Foxes. Rehack barrels through. He's fouled before the shot. No, they count it. They count it. Rehack's shot is good and a chance at 3. Man, oh man, what a move.
The old-fashioned way. What a shot. Hangs in the air, double clutches, and puts that thing up there with some touch. It trickles in for the and 1.
What a strong take. This game far from over. Rehack can make it a 2-point game. puts it in. And now it's Peters that are a little bit on the rope. Full timeout taken by Joe Yerman. Man, oh man. Both these teams, JP, getting their money's worth.
Yeah, we couldn't have asked for a better situation here for the last game of the evening.
Yeah, we'll take a look back at some of these highlights throughout the second half. It has been back and forth again. It was a 6-point separation at the break, but Peters Township, they have just quickly grabbed control of this one, slowly but surely, methodically getting back into it. And again, Caden Kaiser right there. We have not said his name much in the second half.
Yeah, he slowed down. Whatever Peters Township, whatever Peters' defensive scheme was here in the second half, they've executed it to a T.
Nail biter to say the least. 18 seconds remain. 5-8 Peters, 6-8 Fox Chapel. Indians trying to beat up on Big Brother in the Foxes. And JP, I know when you were last in high school, wasn't quite to 5 and 6A, but I'm sure there was a little underlying rivalry between 4 and 3A schools back then, right?
Yeah, I mean, there were many more teams per classification then.
That's true too.
So you didn't play a ton of games out of, your classification unless it was in a holiday hoops tournament like this.
Peters trying to do something that hasn't been done since 07. Beat Fox Chapel, and a wise move there by Ross to call that timeout. And you can tell this is where the defense for Fox Chapel's really got to be strong in the final few seconds. Big time final few seconds. And again, this does not have any weight for the playoffs. Both these in different sections, but still, these are the games where maybe you look back at and you say, that's where a run started for us, and maybe for the other, that's where things started to fall apart.
Or if you lose, that's where we had to take a look at ourselves in the mirror and things changed around. It can be a humbling experience, but, a blessing in disguise, if you will.
All right, so what's the approach here if you are Fox Chapel? Obviously, you're probably going to have to foul, but how much time are you willing to let run off the clock?
Well, Peters is probably going to try to slow things down, obviously, and drain it, without the shot clock situation like we've talked about so many times. But you got to be aggressive. You got to trap somebody. You got to try to force Peters to shoot themselves in a foot, get an errant turnover here. They got to go to the length of the floor, though.
Very true. 44-42. Peters trying to hang on, get their second win in their last 3 games, not to mention a second straight. Ross triggers it in. Fox Chapel basketball. What a play by Kaiser. He's done it offensively, but he comes up in the biggest moment defensively. Vaccarello and Miller back in for Peters Township. And yet again, another timeout here for Fox Chapel. All right, JP, this completely switches things around. Now Fox Chapel's got it. Do you play it out, or do you try and go for a quick bucket?
Oh, man, you're making me put my coach's cap on here. I think you try to get a 2. They haven't had much success shooting from beyond the arc here in the second half, and they don't have any momentum, really. They're barely hanging on to a 1-score deficit here. I think you put it in the hands of Kaiser and let him go to work here. Worst case scenario, he gets fouled and sent to the line. But I think if you're going to go down, you got to go down swinging with the hands, or with the ball in the hands of your best player.
And for Peters Township, I think maybe the main thing is just do not foul.
Right.
Great way to cap off a fun-filled day of basketball. 4 games today, this Sunday afternoon and now evening. All right here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh for the 2nd annual Pittsburgh Holiday Hoops Classic, presented by the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps. Best way to finish it out, the nightcap being a thriller, to say the least. One of these two teams, they will walk away with their 7th overall win heading into the holidays. Fenton to inbound, just a sophomore, so a little bit of inexperience there in a big role. Trying to stay composed with his team down 2 and in jeopardy of their winning streak coming to an end. White, Kaiser for the tie, gets it! Time continues to run out. Miller had to retrieve it. Rost with 5. Vaccarello for the lead. What a play, but a foul. McGivney fouls Vaccarello, and now massive free throws come for Vaccarello, and McGivney slow to get up.
What a job by Kaiser there to get to a spot. They tried to get White on the screen to get a three-point look, but he throws it down to Kaiser. And what a job by Peters Township to rebound, if you will, and get the ball up the court into a scoring chance there. Sending Vaccarello to the line with a chance to win this game here.
A chance to win with 3.2 seconds. Don't move a muscle. We've got the final 3 seconds next on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Disney Descendants and Zombies Worlds Collide Concert Tour. A one-of-a-kind concert experience coming summer 2025. Live on stage singing all the hits. Starring Kylie Cantrell, Freya Sky, Malia Baker, Malachi Barton, Daryl Renee, Joshua Collins, and Makanan Knight. Disney Descendants and Zombies Worlds Collide Concert Tour. Tickets on sale now at DescendantsZombiesLive.com.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
Jeff Dunham. You're the other white meat. MJ, how can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other?
Well, you're half of it.
I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss on Pittsburgh, December 30th, PPG Paints Arena. Tickets on sale Monday, September 16th at JeffDunham.com.
3.2 to play, and Joseph McGivney having to be helped off the court. He's walking under his own power, but he made a tremendous hustle play. Does get hit with the foul, though. But for Mickey Vaccarello, 2 of the biggest free throws, arguably of his entire career right here, to put Peters on top with 3.2 to play and give the Indians a chance to beat Fox Chapel for the first time since December 4th, 2007. Misses the first. Trying to stay cool, calm, collected. Neither team with a timeout left. 3.2. Chance for a 7th win on the line for both. Vaccarello misses. Kaiser up to White. At the buzzer, no! And we've got overtime. What a battle between these two teams. Titans of their respective classifications. And we've got some free hoops. Ooh. Let's catch our breath, JP. We've got overtime coming up next between Fox Chapel and Peters Township. Getting set for overtime. Fresh set of 4 minutes on the clock. All square at 44 apiece. Man, oh man. This ball game has lived up to the hype. One of the top teams in 6A in Fox Chapel up against one of the top 5A teams in Peters Township. And a chance here for Peters to beat Fox Chapel for the first time since '07. And they just methodically got back into this game, JP.
Yeah, little by little, they scratched and clawed right back in this thing. It looked like Fox Chapel was going to soar to a victory early in this game, but Peters hung in there, and then it looked like Peters had the victory. Fox Chapel said, not so fast.
Yeah, we have pendulumed back and forth in this one. Last time these two teams met up, it was a 5-point separation. What do they do here? They best it with an overtime ball game. Now both teams also get 1 timeout each. Free throws will also be shot by both teams. Double bonus for both. All tied at 44. 4 minutes in overtime. Clear the scoreboard. We've got free basketball. Peters trailed for a majority of this one. They didn't get their first lead until late in the third quarter. Donovan. Off the screen of Vaccarello. Switches to Rehack. Probes inside. Nick McCullough glides in, and he misses. Back tap for Kaiser. McGivney back in the game after taking a little bit of a tumble. But again, Fox Chapel playing without 2 of their starters. What a catch by Kaiser. Can't finish. Second try, no good. Rehack. Third time could be the charm as he heads to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
What a catch by Kaiser is right. Just couldn't finish. Rehacks to clean up the mess.
Miller gets hit with his 4th. So now this turns into really a war of attrition for both these teams. Whose starters can stay in longer?
War of patrician?
Nice, John.
Johnny Patrician, ladies and gentlemen. He will be here all week. And his Venmo will be left at the end of the broadcast if you want to tip him. That was good, JP. That was very good. That was very good. Rehack misses. White can't secure it. So again, 1 of 2 for Fox Chapel. They do take a small lead. Indians back in the front court. Donovan gets it off the Iverson cut.
Iverson cut, love that.
Tip to Vaccarello, gathers, and he's fouled. Going to be a battle of free throws down the stretch.
If you're Mickey Vaccarello, you have to think he has those 2 free throws at the end of regulation in the back of his head. A little less pressure with these ones, though.
Significantly less. He still has to deal with this crowd. Gets the first. Grant Fenton gets hit with the foul. That was his 2nd. Leveled at 45. Peters trying to avoid a 2nd loss in their last 3 games. 1 of 2. Rehack absorbs it. McGivney taking some time.
They got to hurry up.
They got to get it over half court, you're right. Nearly had another 10-second violation. McGivney, he's got the count on him. Felk mirrors his every move. 2.5 to go in overtime. McGivney, bucket and a foul! Puts Fox Chapel back in front. The freshman with a huge, check that, a sophomore with a massive bucket.
Nice cut by McGivney. And good find by Kaiser as well. Love to see McGivney fired up after dealing with injury at the end of the regulation there. Coming back strong, bouncing back with the and 1 to put his team ahead in overtime.
Sean Felk creeps closer to fouling out his 4th. McGivney good. 3-point lead for Fox Chapel. They have not tasted defeat to Peters since 2007. Trying to keep that the same. Donovan stumbles and he loses it.
Uncharacteristic mistake there for Donovan. Dribbles off his foot,
And I wonder if the tumble job by Miller maybe distracted him a little bit.
Yeah.
.222 to go in overtime. Stays with Fox Chapel. Fenton, he needs to probably breathe a sigh of relief that didn't get batted back into his face.
I know. I thought the same thing.
Wetzel back in for the Indians. 3-point lead for Fox Chapel in overtime. Fox Chapel led by as many as 9. Never got it into double digits. Peters led by as many as 5. Right now, it's the Foxes in front by 3. 2 to go in overtime. McGivney. Back out for Fenton. Gobble up more time off the clock. Less than 2 to go in the extra period. Fox Chapel playing for a 4th straight win. Nearly stolen. McGivney gets swarmed. And that is Miller's evening. He is fouled out with 5. Felk comes in, he's playing with 4. So it's going to continue, or at least theoretically could continue to be next man up.
Good evening for Miller, though. He played hard all night long. He was a pest all night long on the defensive end of the floor.
Big free throws here for the sophomore McGivney. Nice. Good on the first.
Let's go.
McGivney has given a good spark off the bench for this Foxes team. And he comes in the clutch with 2 ginormous free throws. Fox Chapel, they don't want to lose to Peters. Trying to keep the winning streak alive. Kaiser, the takeaway, and the flush. What could be the nail in the coffin? Wetzel, he goes to the line.
That's an exclamation point right there. Put your team ahead by 7 in overtime with the flush. First dunk we've seen tonight, and couldn't come at a better time.
Wetzel misses. Evan McCullough checks in. He hit a huge 3 in the second half for Peters Township to tie things up at the point. But now Wetzel is in dire need of a free throw here. His team facing a 7-point deficit. Gets the second. Vaccarello checks in, takes out Wetzel. Again, both teams with just 1 timeout here in overtime. Peters now in jeopardy of their second loss in their last 3 games after winning their first 5. Fox Chapel, they have to hold on though. White needs to get it up quickly. In trouble, finds Rehak. Ticking down to the final minute in overtime. White evades pressure.
Keep away.
Kaiser, inside for Fenton. Vaccarello fouls White. That is Vaccarello's 4th. White, a player that has been tremendous during his time at Fox Chapel. Wetzel checks back in for Peters Township. His career is not going to be over after this season. He'll be taking his talents up north. Very chilly Waltham, Massachusetts. He'll be playing at Brandeis University in the UAA. But he's not thinking about that right now. He's trying to make sure that his Foxes don't lose to Peters for the first time since '07. Beautiful jumper.
Smooth, silky smooth right there. Hits nothing but nylon.
Two of 2. 57 seconds remain. Time running out for Peters. They're going to need a prayer. Donovan. Nick McCullough hoists. Air ball. Up to McGivney, swerves away, 40 seconds to go. Kaiser dishes, Fenton goes to the line. Evan McCullough hit with it, his first. Again, this still not over, but with it going away from Peters right now, JP, I think that the Indians still have a lot to take away from this one with their ability to fight back in this game.
Yeah, people say there's no moral victories, but this one you can take a lot away from. Some pros, some cons. I always like to say winning minimizes problems, losing magnifies them. When you win, they're still there, but people just don't talk about them as much.
Now a 10-point separation. Donovan short on the floater. Rehack saves it. Kaiser up to White. And Evan McCullough fouls White. And the future Brandeis basketball player can pad the stats further.
I've noticed a few times tonight when Kaiser gets a rebound, he passes the ball to a teammate before he even lands from getting the rebound. You know, so he's almost like one play ahead. When he's jumping to get the rebound, he sees an open teammate already pushing up the floor and throws it ahead before he lands. Right there, gets it to White.
Matt Begg checks in for Fox Chapel. 11-point lead. This one all but over. The Foxes able to stave off the complete comeback by Peters. Their chance at a win in regulation was thwarted, but their chance at a fourth straight won't be. Evan McCullough all air. Wetzel secures, finishes. Time continues to wind down. Final 10 seconds. And man, oh man, what a battle it was in this final game of the day as Rost gets hit with his fourth. And more free throws come here for Joseph McGivney. JP, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to our wonderful producer, Jake Mislivchik, running the controls back in the production truck. Doing a great job. Big shout out to you, Jake. Thanks for making sure that JP, myself, Rachel, and Alex all were able to get on air. That's always vital.
Very fun. Got to give a shout out to Matt Fargo as well for putting the Holiday Hoops Classic on.
Matt Fargo, really the nucleus, if you will, of this event.
Great for these schools, these teams, these communities. A special experience here that, you know, I'm sure everybody enjoys right before the holidays.
And for Peters, the drought, that will continue. They will continue their losing ways against Fox Chapel. That elusive first win since 07 will continue to elude them. McGivney puts the finishing touches on this one. Victor Golalik checks in for Fox Chapel. But what a way for Fox Chapel to head into the holidays. Winners of 4 in a row. Donovan with a last-second heave, puts it in, but it doesn't matter. Fox Chapel emerges victorious by a final 59-50. Christmas came early for the Foxes. They pick up their 7th win overall and their 4th straight, while for Peters, losers now of 2 of their last 3, and they fall to 6-2, JP.
But all in all, a great game. As we talked about a couple minutes ago, both teams have pros and cons to take away from this. A learning experience from Peters Township, but hey, they fought the whole time, and that's a winning ingredient that'll carry them a long way throughout the season.
Want to give a big shout out to everybody involved in putting this all together. Our whole crew at JRM Production and Matt Fargo here at PPG Paints Arena. Once again, big shout out to producer Jake Mislivchik. For JP, Johnny Patrician, this is Jack Ridenauer signing off. Once again, a final 59-50. Fox Chapel takes it. And as always, it's never a goodbye, just a see you later. All right here and only on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.